The lights are dimmed, the music is about to start. Your heart races, and so does your mind. Are you ready? In this episode, I dive into the mental side of dance, how to calm your nerves, sharpen your focus, and step onto the stage with confidence. Ciao, I'm Anna Harsh, professional dancer, author, and host of the Dance Floor podcast, the podcast that offers you advice, tips, and unique ways to find those life lessons that improve our lives. So grab your dance shoes and join me on the dance floor. Welcome back, listeners. I'm Anna Harsh, your host, and I'm here with two incredible ladies that I've been really admiring on Instagram. And so they're here to chat with us, give us a few more tools maybe in our toolbox when we are performing. Ladies, I'll have you introduce yourself. Michelle, go first.
Yeah, hi, my name is Michelle Loucadoux. I'm one of the co-founders of Danscend, and I'm super excited to be here. Former professional dancer, performer, turned educator, turned now business owner.
Awesome. And who else do we have with us?
Hey, everybody. I am Kristin Deiss, the other co-founder of Danscend, also former professional dancer turned educator and now business owner. Hey, we're so excited to be here.
Both of you have incredible resumes. Don't let them kid you. They are filled with amazing things that you both have accomplished. And you are not new to any dance floor across this country. So where are you guys located now?
We are currently in Los Angeles. So Danscend is a company that works with mental health professionals to provide science-backed resources for dancers. And so we are physically in Los Angeles, but we quite literally work with folks around the world.
I love that. So how did you guys both meet each other and how did this come about?
So Michelle and I were teaching together at a college here in Los Angeles for a while, probably about a decade ago, maybe longer than that. And we went through COVID together. And we, in an effort to get out of the house, we had two young children at the time. I had a young toddler, a boy, so did Michelle. So we're trying to get them out of the house and everyone's going stir crazy. So we had all these park dates where we would just start talking and chatting about all kinds of stuff. And, I think a lot of people at that time really turned inward and started to become more introspective because once your outside world changes, you start to ask a lot of questions. And so, you go inward. So we were kind of going through our own process of going inward while also simultaneously watching our students do the same thing. And everybody was struggling, right? Like it was really hard to dance from your bedroom or your basement or your garage or your driveway. And we're all on these Zooms and trying to find some sort of normalcy in a situation that wasn't normal at all. So we first started talking about how we can help our dancers. Like, how do we help them get through this? And Michelle had a friend who was an LMFT, and we were asking, how do we support their mental health and creating resources for them. And then we realized too, some of what they're struggling with, we also struggled with and didn't maybe even realize it. And now here we are as adults and looking back and asking questions. It's like, did things have to be that way? Right? But some of the stuff that I said to Michelle, I don't think I'd ever really shared with another dancer. And she was like, oh my gosh, me too. So there was this sort of two-pronged thing going where we wanted to support our students. And we also were realizing well, this is still even affecting us today. Things that happened while we were training when we were younger and from our work as professional dancers in the field. So it just grew and grew and grew. And we talked to, we wanted our resources to help more people, to help more folks. And talking to dance educators from around the globe, really, in that first year, we did a lot of research and development, as you might imagine.
Right.
And it's amazing. I mean, we all know this. The language of dance is sort of universal, which is so cool. It can bring people together from all walks of life. And the environment of dance is pretty universal too. And the effects of dance are pretty universal, both positive and maybe not so positive. And so a lot of other educators also were like, why are we doing things? Yeah, me too. And why aren't we doing things this way? Maybe there are different ways. And and how can we better support our students? And so that's how Danscend grew. And as Michelle mentioned, we have an advisory board of mental health professionals who either used to be dancers or who are currently working with performers.
That's so important because they're going to understand us best. They know what it's like to literally be in our dance shoes and be on a stage and perform and understand what we're going through and our ups and our downs. I feel that, Kristin, because I tried to choreograph an entire musical via Zoom because I wasn't able to go to the high school to be their choreographer in person. So I did the whole thing via Zoom. I mean, it worked out, but man, that was a ride. And it's not easy to teach this way. Dance is so physical, and to feel the energy off of another dancer is part of the learning process, isn't it? We need to be together in a room. And I don't mean a Zoom room like we are today, but, in a real room. And I talk about that a lot in my books too, because I too went through COVID like the rest of the world, with a dance company going, well, what do we do now? We can't perform on a stage. We have to be on Zoom to rehearse. And this is weird. So we made it through, but gosh, we could have used a few more tools in our toolbox, that's for sure, throughout that whole process. So I thought you guys would be the best to ask. As we go through our performance season, even as adults, I'm still sort of performing off and on myself. What are the best tools that we can make or to keep in our dance bags, virtually or mentally, maybe, to have the greatest performance we can give? And when we don't have those tools, things don't go so well. So do you guys have advice for dancers that are performing out there? And maybe how can we have the best show? How can we prepare ourselves, mind, body, and spirit? We all know to warm up and rehearse, but it goes beyond that, doesn't it?
I think we'll both have some ideas, but so one of the most important tools for me was something called body compassion. I struggled a lot in my dance career with my body image. I was let go from a ballet company, and the official reason was I was too large. Even before I went on for the role of Ariel on Broadway, they made me lose 15 pounds. So it was always like a recurring thing in my life. And I had such a negative relationship with my body that it got in the way of the work.
Wow.
It got in the way of being in the moment when I was, on stage and when I was performing, because I was so busy worrying about how I looked in my costume and comparing myself to other people. And since we've started doing this work at Danscend, I've really kind of found a way to not necessarily love my body, but I've found a way to respect it and to give my body the compassion that I would give another person, right? Like rather than just, mentally saying like, I hate my body, I hate my enter body part here. I've been really working to just recognize it for the hard work that it does. Like I might have said, I hate my thighs, blah, 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 right? Now I'm trying to be grateful for my thighs, or like compassionate.
Changing the language around what you say to yourself, because if you wouldn't say it to another dancer or to another student, if you're a teacher, you say it to a student, you shouldn't really be saying it to your own body. And that can be hard because you are constantly looking in that mirror in the studio. And man, that's challenging, especially when you have somebody saying that to you, like, oh, you need to be this. Well, this is where I'm at right now. Why can't I just be where I'm at right now? We're all on a journey. We're all in a progress of doing something better and greater, but this is where we are right now, and that's okay. So maybe changing that rhetoric, that's really great.
And that's something that we talk to. So Kristin and I do at Danscend, we do a dance teacher certification and like mental wellness support. And that's something that we talk dance teachers through too. You don't need to comment on someone's body to give them a piece of feedback in dance class. Just tell them how to do the movement differently rather than saying something about someone's body. So that's one of my tools.
That's one of the things that I love about learning folk dance so much, because we talk about energy and strength way more, way more than, how we looked in the skirt or the vest or the costume. It's about, what did you bring to the table? What did you bring to the stage? Did you bring your energy? Did you bring your smile, your spirit, your personality? Because that is what they are interested in the most. And being, I guess, a dual-sided dancer, I went through my degree in dance and was in a ballet company myself when I was in high school. And I felt that we were weighed, and I get it. That was a traumatic time for sure. But so when I transitioned into doing another style of dance, I realized, oh, dance isn't about the way we look. It's about how the dancer makes the audience feel, the stories that we're telling, the energy that we're bringing to the stage and spreading throughout the whole audience. And that, for me, when I'm looking at dancers, I am looking at how their performance made me feel. Did it teach me something? Did it make me feel something? I'm not really concerned about did their costume shine so bright. Kristin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really struggled with and still do, honestly, to this day, was negative self-talk and the things that I would say about myself that would, especially like right before a stressful situation, like an audition or a performance. And I didn't really even know that what was happening, right? I was just sort of like making choices, warming up my body, getting ready for a show consisted of like the same 5 things. And none of it, and I'd heard like, okay, well, if you feel nervous, like just breathe, right? And I was like, okay. And people, here's the thing, and maybe this makes sense for some people who are listening. I feel like when I was performing, I was given a lot of tools, but I didn't know how to use them and I didn't know why they were important. So it's one thing to give somebody a hammer, and it's a whole other thing to show them how to use it.
Right.
And why it's important and what it can do. Like I could just have a hammer and be like, cool, I have the tool, I'm using the tool and I'm whipping it around my head, but it's actually not doing what it's designed to do because I don't understand it. So let's take the breathing exercises, for example. Like if I'm not exactly sure why I'm doing a breathing exercise and I'm just breathing and I don't really get it, like it's not going to be as effective as it could be if I first understand why it could benefit me particularly and what that benefit might look like. So the first thing that I had to do was like get really specific and become really aware of what was going on in my mind. What are the thoughts that I'm actually having when I'm starting to feel stressed, when I'm in these stressful situations, when I feel like the pressure is on? Like, what am I thinking? Most times dancers will be like, I don't really know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't
right?
have
Because, like your brain just sort of goes into like
dance
survival mode.
Yeah, dance
or
mode.
like dance. Yeah. And you're not really in control, right? You feel like you've lost control, and that can be a really scary place to be. And that's not where you want to be. That's not how you're going to give the best show. You're not going to give the best show when you feel like you're not in control. So one of the first thing I would say to everybody is like really start becoming aware of what is going on in your brain, because it impacts your dancing so tremendously. And if you are not aware of what's going on in your brain, that's the first step, is like ask yourself some questions, jot down some thoughts. Like after class today, these are the things I remember thinking about myself, good, bad, neutral, whatever it is, right? And then when you feel nervous, you feel that pressure in that situation, the way that, something like a breathing exercise can work is it can help bring you into the present moment and calm those thoughts in your head, so that you're really resetting your nervous system, you're resetting your focus, and then it can get you in a place to start. So if you think about warming up your body as getting your instrument ready to dance, you can think of various breathing. If there are millions, you try on for size, pick one that you like, and that can help you warm up your mind-body connection, help you focus your brain, and you'll start to feel a little bit more in control. Now, I am also totally guilty of being like, well, I did that once and it didn't work, so I'm not going to do it again, right? It's a skill, just like anything. I don't think any dancer out there got to where they were because they tried a tendu once and it wasn't right, so they quit. Like, you've got to keep going, right? Like, it's a skill. It will strengthen with time. It will become second nature at a certain point, and you'll really start to reap the benefits. Don't give up too early.
Yeah, the consistency is always the key. No matter whatever your goal is in life, you got to do it more than once. It's not hard work if you don't at least try it more than once. it's not going to work. I always joke with my dancers that you can't drive through anywhere and just pick up a beautiful bop ma. It's just not going to happen. They don't sell them. I've tried. I've looked. I've driven through all of the restaurants and they are fresh out of bop ma to my ear. So that means I'm going to have to go home and practice, stretch, breathe, clear my mind. And you're right, that will make or break a performance, especially if it's really messy, if you're just, scattered with thoughts before you walk out onto stage. Or what I hate the most is somebody tells you something right before you go onto stage and it upsets you. You're like, really? Now's the time to tell me that and share that with me? No. Now is not the time to do that. Now is the time to clear my thoughts, focus, write, and work on what you're doing right now. Dance is one of those things that do bring us present, forces us to be present, because if you're not, that's when the show goes a little bit downhill real quick, real fast.
Yeah, and I think that's something else we talk to dancers about is being able to protect your peace. Sometimes, we have these cell phones that we talk about it, it's like basically Pandora's box, right? Like when we pick up a cell phone, we don't know what notifications we're going to get. We don't know what's going to be put in front of our face. Like we open our social media apps and we see enter something here, something amazing, something terrifying, something sad. And it's, so important. And we talk about social media and mental health and how it truly impacts, especially our young folks. But giving them the power and the tool to say, hey, I am choosing to not pick up my cell phone now because I don't want to open Pandora's box right before a show.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean don't ever open your Instagram, but that the choice of when to do it can really make a difference, especially if you're right about to go on stage.
Yeah, the other thing that I've been giving my dancers and my company is to keep a gratitude journal. And so each night I encourage them, whether they do it or not, again, it's that practice and consistency, but write down 3 things that were really great about today. And then sometimes when we have rehearsal, I'll keep out a fishbowl that they can write something that they're grateful for at the end of rehearsal and stick it in the bowl. And at the end of the year, at the end of our touring season, we dump them out and read them all. So it's a mindset, isn't it? We have to have a mindset. And I always tell people that are not dancers, maybe they don't understand, what it's like to really be on stage and all of this. But there's so much that we're thinking about past technique. We're thinking about the choreography and the story that we're trying to unfold in front of the audience's eyes. But it's that mental game we do have in our heads the entire time we're on stage. There's a whole different piece of choreography that's going on there while we're moving. So I think that these are the tools that we do need. We need to clear our mind. We need to have those breathing exercises. And for goodness sake, please turn off the phone until you're done dancing.
Yeah, it's that the mental skills, mental strength, mental training component was severely lacking for most dancers. I think the tides are turning, thankfully. And hopefully that dancers now really understand the importance of that and the impact of that, because it really does matter. And if dancers now are thinking I don't need it, I'm good, I'm a good dancer, I don't need it, imagine how much better you could be. You're not tapping into your greatest potential because you're not utilizing the power of your mind in the way that you could be. And I think that that's the exciting thing about it, is there's so much more that could open for you if you start taking your mind with just as much seriousness as your body.
Yeah, I always prescribe my yoga class. I'm like, can we stretch, even if it's just a few postures in yoga, and take a moment to breathe? Usually before we walk out onto stage, I gather all my dancers in a circle. We hold hands. I say, can we just have a moment to be grateful that we're sharing our talents, not only with each other on stage, but with a brand new audience has yet to see any of the show, or maybe see it for the first time. Let's just share a moment of please and thank yous, gratitude, and a moment to breathe, and physically holding somebody's hand. I know when I hold my partner's hand, it helps me calm down and be present, and know that, oh, we got each other. We can do this. So those are the tools that I'm so glad you guys brought up today, because I always pack a bag, right? We pack our dance bags, but we need to pack a different kind of bag when we're on performance mode. And even when we're performing, quote unquote, in our classrooms, aren't we? In our studios, and we have to practice that performance. Well, that's a great time to practice all of the things that you guys are talking about today. I can't think of a better way to prepare yourself for performance or for a class or going on tour, stepping into that professional world, because we all can use a little extra help, mind, body, and spirit, right? Ladies,
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that you came on today and chatted with me, and share with our audience your Instagram page, because it cracks me up. It helps my day. And I literally almost spit out my tea the other morning when I looked at some of the memes and stuff you guys were posting. So share your website and your Instagram so we can follow.
We are on Instagram at Danscend Official. We're so happy you're laughing, because at the end of the day, honestly, dance is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be joyful. Like, it's such a beautiful expression of being alive. And it's not that serious. Like that's actually the biggest joke of all of this, right? Like,
right.
Even Michelle and I, we're like talking like, so serious, like our minds, and all of it is, right? It is very serious, but by the same token, like, it's not that serious. We're not brain surgeons. Our life isn't physically, literally on the line. And I don't say this trying to undermine anyone's experience with taking it very seriously, because I'm there with you. And I have to remind myself, like, this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be joyful. And it's okay to laugh. It's okay to poke fun sometimes and just be like, oh my goodness, like, do I like get some perspective? Like, that's what I always try to tell myself, like, get some perspective. As the young folks say, like, go touch grass. Think about it, laugh, have a good time. And so if you want to laugh at the some of the funny things about dance, please follow us at Danscend Official. We also give you some good tips about training your mind. So we like to throw in various things into the mix.
No, I totally related to the one. I think it was something about when you finally finish editing like your music for a dance. I was like, this hit home for me, because as I edit podcasts or I edit music for us to go on tour, I'm like, you feel like a champion. You're like, yeah, I conquered.
Of course, dance is not just doing the steps. Like, there's so much more, and sometimes it's good to just. It also helps brighten your day. You laugh, and then you realize, like, wow, like, how much am I really doing? How much am I really accomplishing? Like, I should feel really proud of myself. So Michelle, hop on over to Instagram, become part of the Danscend fam at Danscend Official, and I'll let Michelle talk about the rest of our offerings and where else people.
Yeah, Michelle, where else can we, what can we do to take part in some of your programs or services?
Yeah, we are also danscend.com. You can go to our website, DANSCEND. You can email us from there. You can sign up for our mailing list, and we send you free goodies. So if you're a dance educator and you would like a free ebook on how to help dancers cope with stress, if you'd like some mental wellness classroom exercises, signs to put up in the dance studio, you can scroll to the bottom and sign up. And we have ongoing programs going on pretty much throughout the year, everything from dance educator certifications to workshops to we do some parent mental wellness workshops. We do workshops with students, and we are at a bunch of events this summer.
Excellent. I can't think of a better way or two more people that I am putting in my dance circle this year, because this is hilarious. Your stuff is hilarious. But like you said, dance, it should be fun. And that's one of the last things I usually say to my dancers, go have fun. Like you said, this should be fun. We chose to do this. Remember? We wear so many hats, ladies, and I appreciate all of the hats that you put on today to share your time and your thoughts, and gosh, that great advice that we all could use, not just dancers that are younger, but we as teachers. We still remember those days when it was hard like that, because it is hard as a teacher too. So we all could use a break and maybe a little breathing exercise after this conversation. Ladies, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And please come back and share other events and services with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Anna Harsh, your host. And until next time, keep moving on the dance floor.